What is going on, guys? It's Jude coming to you with another video. Before I get started, let you know I do comic book reviews, trailer reactions, film reactions, commentary, podcasts, and storytelling. Da 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 da. Anything that's recommended. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe, follow if you're into that stuff, and like, follow, leave comment below. Join my Discord as well. Leave that down in the description. On this one, I want to talk about video game films and why I think they fail most of the time when it comes to video games being implemented and portrayed in movies. And why I think that more video games could be more successful if they're more of a serious. As long as they got the right directors and writers, don't get me wrong, actors as well, they'll be better in a series, and we can see that as of The Last of Us. And for me, The Witcher, I didn't read the book or comic. I know that as a video game, but people seem to like The Witcher. I didn't watch The Witcher, which is, a little odd. I seemed like I would watch it. I just have not watched it. With that being said, so we're looking at The Last of Us, and people are really enjoying The Last of Us. I'm enjoying it so far. The last episode's was a little bland, I guess. I mean, it just didn't draw my attention. I'm not someone who played the game. I watch people play the game, so. But we can go all the way back to. We talk about the films. We can go all the way back to the start of video game movies. I mean, I don't want to go too far back because Mario had a movie in the '90s, which was, if you watch it today, it was terrible. It was awful. It was awful, man. Had like John Galuzziamo playing as Luigi, and it was awful. And it was in a modern world. It was awful. But anyways, yeah, I had some dude playing as Bowser. What the? Anyways, I want to say they made a Zelda movie. I could be wrong, but I didn't. If they did, I didn't watch it. I'll start with Tomb Raider. I'll just go back to Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider came out, I want to say, in the early 2000s, starring Angelina Jolie, which was not a bad movie. It was definitely a good portrayal of the right person to play as Lara Croft, as far as built and upcoming actress. At the time, she was very young, and she was that lady on the rise. And this is Tomb Raider, which was the biggest game on PlayStation at that time. That one was one of the few ones that did fairly well, as far as telling a story from the game. And then they made more than one. There was a sequel as well. Now, some of the games that came out in the most recent years, Assassin's Creed had a movie come out. The movie had good action scenes, had good fight sequences, but it was too short. It was too short to give you a good Assassin's Creed movie. It was too short, and to me, if you ask me, Assassin's Creed, if that was a series, and I played Assassin's Creed, I played a few of them, they're all different. There's no continuation with Assassin's Creed. It's all different. Black Flag, you got the London, based off like I want to say like the 1800s. You got a Valhalla. That's like Vikings and stuff. And you got. I didn't play that one, obviously. That's one of the more newer ones. There was also the one I did play was golly. I want to say this was based off like way back from Troy, like Trojan War time. I think. Which one was that? It's on my Ubisoft Connect. Let me look at it real quick. Just so I can remember. But anyways, Assassin's Creed movie was too short. It was way too short for me. I actually went to the movies to see it. It was way too short. It was one of those films where you're like, okay, that's it. And that's why I think a lot of these films fail because Assassin's Creed Origins. Origins. It was based off like Pyramid, like Egypt and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. That's the one that I played back, was that 2018, 2017? Whatever, something like that. So they're all different. Anyways, we're not going to focus on Assassin's Creed only, just kind of talking about it. That movie was really short, good action scenes, good fight scenes. I was liking what I was seeing. But when I'm watching the film, like, that's all you got for me. So to me, that was a fail. That was a fail. And that's why when you make a movie, they can only put in so much. Another film, World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. Short. Very short. It was a failure. You got to understand there's a lot of nerds that love RPG games. And that was, I don't play those games. Those games are dragging to me. But I did go see the movie because I am interested in the characters. And so I had a co-worker talk me into go seeing it. I didn't play World of Warcraft, but I am into that world and fantasy stuff when it comes to films and books. And for me to even not know the story of World of Warcraft, I could tell that movie was cut short. It had good actors. It actually had good visuals. Actually, I wasn't mad at the CGI at all. That movie was that film should have been a series, like a 10-episode series, and it should have had a season 2. I think it's a game that when there's a game that has a franchise and it goes for years. World of Warcraft goes way back. How the hell do you have a movie that's only like an hour and a half? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really telling much of a story. The most recent, some of the most recent films was Uncharted. I played a little bit of Uncharted. That movie was awful, and I didn't even finish watching it. I didn't go to the movies because I was already confused with the cast. Now these are big name casts: Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg. You know, like, I was just looking at the cast, like, what the hell is going on here? Little cheesy. The script, when I started watching, it was a little cheesy. The script was. I felt Tom Holland looks a little too young to play as Nathan Drake. Mark Wahlberg just looks nothing like the in-game character. Like I said, I played a little bit of it, but I didn't grind it or not like that. But I know of some of the characters. But just by me watching the trailer and then watching part of the film, I just felt like a Charlie's Angels. That's what it felt like I was watching. The way the humor was Charlie's Angel-like to me. And I was like, dude, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better. I think Uncharted could actually be a really, really good film. I think it'd be a really good film, especially if it was a series. I think it could be really good. Tomb Raider. They remade Tomb Raider. Rise of Tomb Raider. I played that on Xbox One. Rise of Tomb Raider, and that game was fantastic. By the way, so they made a movie. I want to say, was it 2018? And I didn't hear much about it. I actually missed this movie and didn't see it, so I can't tell you. I can look it up and see how well it did, because it was one of those films I remember doing like a trailer reaction to it, and I was like, oh shit. And I was playing the game around that time. Alright, so this film, it says IMDb gave it a 6.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 53%. So it wasn't trashed. And I remember, yes, it was played by Alicia Vikander. Says, will there be a Tomb Raider in 2022? Obviously there was not. Who is Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider movie? Alicia Vikander. I didn't hear too many people talk about this film. It says on TV soon, sci-fi. But as you know, as I was talking about the older Tomb Raider, which had Angelina Jolie, and it did fairly well, especially at that time too. So at that time, it did fairly well. I'm trying to think of another film. So we're talking to The Last of Us. The Last of Us pretty much set the tone, to be honest. Last of Us was a great franchise game series, so it was bound to be a film one way or the other. And they did it right. They went to a series, and it had to be on HBO, or it had to be on a stream series. It couldn't be on regular TV. There's no way in hell. They did. So when I look at games now that are popular, so they're talking about God of War. God of War. This is one that they're talking about next. They messed this up. If they mess this up, I'll tell you what. People are going to be static and pissed. They're going to be pissed. So, yeah, you don't want to mess up Kratos. No, you do not want to mess up Kratos. You mess up Kratos, boy, you would never hear the end of these people, boy. Never. Resident Evils had several movies, and I didn't like them. I think there was one good one, but the other ones was god awful. Yeah, so so to me, especially if it's a video game that has a strong storyline to it, like Tomb Raider, you know. And I think Tomb Raider could do well with the movies, but they just have to make sure they do well in the first one so they can continue the story. I think these stories stop. They just stop. And then you got, like I said, Uncharted. Uncharted could be better because it's a great storyline. Now but you gotta know where to start and where to end. So God of War, storyline based, great action, great scenery, great all kinds of stuff going on. That could be a great movie or a great show. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my opinion on why I think video game movies fail. I think they're just, they're just not, you can't shorten the story. You can't shorten the story. You can't change character. You can't mess up the characters. You can't shorten the story. You have to be consistent with the story. If it's got to be a 3-hour movie. Oh yeah, another movie I thought about was short was the new Mortal Kombat. By the way, had good fight scenes. Too short. I still don't even know. I still ain't even getting that film a rating because I'm confused. I want to say it's not bad, but it's not great. So. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these films need to be more thought of. They need to be thought of because especially for non-video game players, you want them to respect the video game world. At least make a good film for them to watch. That's one way. You make a good film for them to watch. Like, there's a lot of people who does not play Last of Us and they're loving that series. So nobody's just like Game of Thrones. I didn't read the book. Nobody read the book. There was probably like 20 people in this world who read the book, which is a lie. I know it's a very popular book, but I'm just being exaggerating. Everybody else talking about, I love Game of Thrones, man. There was even a podcast where a lady said, the kid asked her, what books you read? Said Game of Thrones. That just shows right there. She didn't read Game of Thrones. She just watched the show and loved it. So, same with books and video games. Video games should keep that same energy as books. Make something great from what you created. Because when you create the story in a video game, it's almost like writing a book. It's almost like writing a script, a screenplay. It's all the same. It all goes together. Don't mess it up. So yeah. So tell me what you think. Do you think video games should be a series, or is it okay to keep them in movies? Because I think storylines, even books too, like storylines are too short, man. I mean, technically you can say that about all books, all comic books, regular books. They could be a series because they're ongoing stories. But I feel like video games definitely need to be more of a long told story just for respect, on the respect level, because you're not giving us nothing. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Just wanted to drop my opinion.